The Prattville Lions Football Review with Coach Caleb Ross. Brought to you by Gibson's Tire Pros, Dreyer Physical Therapy, your hometown Allstate agent Lynn Norris, CBE, and Showtime Graphics.
Well, hello, Lion Nation, and welcome into the Prattville Lions Football Review Show. Week 2 of the 2019 season, a 42-0 shellacking at the hands of Stanhope Elmore. And the home opener, Coach, I know you got to be really proud of the way this team's performing.
I am. I was really, it's one of those things Friday night that, I thought probably going in we might have had the better football team. I thought it was going to be a really, really intense game. Stanhope was always a battle. And, we really took control of the game early and really never let our foot off the gas. Just really proud again of how dialed in and focused our boys were Friday. And I'll be honest, we didn't have the best week of practice last week. We picked it back up at the end of the week, but I stress our guys about being very detailed and oriented and focused. And parts of practice last week but didn't have the best week. But man, we really flipped the switch about Wednesday. Really finished strong, dialed in, and obviously Friday night, man, we just really opened up, man. I was proud. Defense really kind of suffocated them. I thought Stanhope would be able to run the football. Now, they are young on the offensive line, and I'm sure that played its part. But and I think they were a little bit limited on throwing the football down the field. I mean, they just, quarterback was an athlete, was a runner, but his best suit wasn't throwing the football. So we were able to take advantage of that. But, man, just really proud of the boys. Just really proud of the effort. It's a rivalry game. I mean, everything that we've talked about, man, those games, it means nothing to the region, but it means everything to the community and for the season. So
there's no doubt the impact it's making on the community. It was an absolute capacity crowd at Stanley Jensen Friday night for the home opener, and the crowd got exactly what they wanted in a 42-0 shutout win. Talk about what that means to perform like that in front of a crowd that is just ready for Prattville football. And that's got to be a springboard for the rest of this year.
Well, I mean, a lot of things. First of all, man, we tell our boys, we've said this before, they talk to them all the time about when you put on that Prattville helmet, you put on that Prattville jersey, you represent so many people, not just yourself, not just your families, not just us in the school. You represent this whole community. And it showed, man, Friday night. I mean, it's the biggest crowd since I've been the head coach at Prattville, man. It was packed. It was a great environment. It's what high school football is about. Now, moving forward, too, it allows our kids, to perform on a big stage. Because you hope, the Stanhope is a big game, but we're going to have more big games as the year goes on. And obviously our next game is going to be a big one. So the more, the better the kids and the more experience our kids can have playing in front of those environments, to me, the better off they're going to be. I don't know any other way of doing it. You just got to put them in that environment. And our kids, they were on center stage. It was a talked about game. It was a rivalry game. I get today in 2019, you get a lot of social media chatter. I try to stay away from all that, but it's there. It's real. You can't deny it. So our kids knew it was a big game, and, I really was proud of the way they performed.
Absolutely. And speaking of top performers, your QB1, Kyle Kramer, 5 touchdown passes in 3 quarters of work, 290 yards. Pretty much a perfect night.
He played as good of a football game as any quarterback I've ever coached Friday night. I have told him, I've told our offensive staff, I know Coach Malone has told him when he is dialed in and focused, he is a really special football player, man. And he was really clicking the other night. He was focused, and he played with the right type of energy, the right type of intensity. Made some great throws. Like I said, 18 of 22, man. That's and I know we throw some screens off the runs and stuff and some easier throws, but man, he threw the ball well downfield, man. Hits him. Just really, really gives us a chance to win. And I've challenged him, man. I said, if you can bring that, and it's not just every game, it's every play, every rep, every series, you got to be that dialed in. But just really proud of him, man. Proud of Coach Malone and the offensive staff. Had a great game plan. Really, I thought they were really prepared up front. Offensive line, I know we'll talk more about them, but they really gave Kyle the time to throw when we had to throw. So, man, I really proud. But going back to Kyle, he's waited his turn. He rotated in last year with Trey, played some as a sophomore, and he's come out and really the first 2 weeks really made this his offense. And really proud of the way he played Friday night.
You mentioned that offensive line. You mentioned going into the game, the strength of Stanhope was going to be that defensive front, and they were as advertised. Those were some big, strong, fast kids. And our offensive line was up to the task.
They were, and here's the thing. Stanhope still was really good up front, and they won a lot of those battles. But our O-line also won a lot of those battles, and that's all you can expect. I just did not want Stanhope's D-line to take control of the game. And they made plays, and they were hard to deal with. I mean, I've watched the tape, man. There's some really good players. They'll go and play college football. But they did not take control of the game. We had our moments. Thought our O-line really responded to the challenge, man. And we were able to run the football. And we would run inside the tackles, too. I mean, we do a good job on the perimeter, but, man, we were able to run inside the tackles when we needed to. So, just, man, I can't say enough of the job of that our O-line has done. Our 2 O-line coaches, Mitchell Thornton, Jess Smith, man, they had those guys prepared. Our kids are playing with the right intensity up front. Just an outstanding job, and probably one of the bigger challenges they're going to have all year. Because Stanhope's defensive front, we may face some fronts that are just as good, but I don't know if you're going to face as many as better as a whole unit. So, man, really proud of that group.
Really opportunistic night for the defense, too. 2 interceptions, 1 in the end zone, 1 in the opening possession that gave us a short field to work with, and Kyle just took over from there. And you got to love the play of the wideouts. Kendrick Rogers, Alterius Bates came in and had a great night for you.
Yeah, and to finish up with the offense, man, really, Kendrick, man, had a great night, man. He had a breakout night. I know he had 2 big kickoff returns against Foley, but he really excelled as a wide receiver the other night. Had a long catch, did some really good stuff with the ball in his hand. He was electric. Really played up to his potential and his hype on Friday night. And obviously, Alterius Bates coming in, didn't play the first game, but he came in, and when he got in, man, he really showed what he can do. And I've been saying he's going to have a breakout year. He's a dynamic player, and he really showed that Friday night. He's electric with the ball in his hands. He's still got to work on the details of things, and we're coaching him through that. But, man, he's a special player. He's got things you just can't coach when the ball's in his hand. So, really proud of them. I thought our running backs, man, that once again they had a solid night. Jaden Kidd continues to run the ball hard. Probably one of the most impressive turnaround players I've had in 1 year, my coaching career, man. Just really proud of that kid. And then you saw what Taggart can do when he finally got an open field. And I'm still proud of James Myers, man. He's a kid that just kind of brings it every day. He's not a breakaway guy, but he's going to get you tough yards, and he's going to be able to help us. So proud of our offensive running backs. You mentioned the defense. What another great night. 2 shutouts. And I think Stanhope had 80-something yards of total offense or 50-something yards. I mean, just it's incredible, man. And I know Stanhope, like I said, they were probably challenged throwing the football down the field with their quarterback situation, but they could run the football. And I thought, man, once again, we controlled the line of scrimmage. I thought our D-line won most of the battles up front. Linebackers played solid. And when the ball was in the air, I thought our DBs did a great job. Had 2 interceptions, and one by Tre Thompson early on to really to me, it really set the tone of the game. We stuck it in 3 or 4 plays later, and I, truthfully looking back now, it was probably over at that point. I mean, it wasn't, but it really took the wind out of Stanhope's sails, and we took momentum early and never let up.
No doubt. It was an outstanding night, not only in offense and defense, but also in the special teams as well. Your kickers continue to show just huge legs and accuracy.
That's right. Man, Elliott Duke, which he had, I guess, 6 PATs, he made every one of them. Man, he's a solid kid, and he did a great job. And then, obviously, man, the kickoffs. When you can hit 5 out of 7 of your kickoffs in the end zone, Colin Rogers, man, he's a young kid and sophomore. And I'm telling you now, I love that kid to death, but he's nervous for the game. And I said, man, you're going to be fine. I said, look, I don't know a whole lot about kicking, but it's probably like my golf game, my driver. When I try to kill it, it ain't going to go very far, but just, easy stroke. And, man, he did. He settled in. I knew the first kick, all that crowd, I knew he'd be a little nervous, and it wasn't his best kick. But after that, I think he hit the next 5 in the end zone. So, man, we're really excited about him. Our punting, I know Riley Fairhurst came in, had a couple punts, had one real nice punt. We should have downed that ball on the 1-yard line. We coached that. We talk about bracketing that football. And, man, we just got to have a little more awareness about not knowing where we are, not rolling in the end zone. So I was disappointed with that, but I really thought we had a really solid night on special teams. We had Jack Holman drop the 1 punt, but we'll get that corrected, man. That kid's got great hands, and we put him back there because we trust him. And I know he was sitting there trying to run before he actually caught the ball, but we'll get that fixed. But, yeah, I was proud. It was a really good effort. Really proud of the way we played Friday night.
The defense forces a lot of punts over the last 2 weeks. You only dropped 1. That's a pretty good ratio so far.
Yeah, I'll take that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
42-zip was your score. It was a great night for Prattville High School football. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the game right now. It's from the shotgun. Like an early start, no flags. He wants to pass, and this ball's intercepted by Tre Thompson at the 40, 35-30. Thompson at the 20, down the sidelines. Tackled at the 15, 16-yard line, and the line for the first turnover of the night, Tre Thompson.
firing in the end zone. He's got his man at the 3 into the end zone.
Kendrick
Rogers, touchdown, Prattville. Gives to Duncan, and Duncan
Same
hit
play.
hard in the backfield. Ian Jackson on the stop along with
Ian
RJ
Jackson
Meyer.
and RJ back to back.
RJ Meyer. Here is Rhines again from the shotgun. Loads it up. Pitches it inside to Duncan, and Duncan is not fooling anybody. He is swarmed. Kramer drops the pass.
There
Got
it
it
is.
set up in the middle. It's
Slip
Thompson.
screen to Thompson.
35. Makes a man spin off at the 30. Kramer to Thompson for a first down to the Stanhope 27-yard line. Kramer wants to pass. Looking downfield. Firing short to Thompson. Thompson at the 15-10.
He's gonna
Thompson
score.
breaks a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, Prattville. Kramer from the shotgun. Play action. Looks downfield. Looking to his long receiver
Got
downfield.
it.
Throws
Got
it
it.
deep. He's got Rogers down there.
That's
Rogers makes the
6.
catch at the 10-yard line.
Touchdown.
And Rogers into the end zone. 55 yards. First and goal lines from the 7. 10:34 to play. Third quarter lines up 3 scores. Looking for more. Kramer to pass. Wide
Nice sale.
open at the 5-yard line and into the end zone. First and 10 now for the Lions. We're on 17-yard line. Here's wide open in the middle. It's caught at the
Bates.
45-yard line. Bates stumbling, rumbling out to the 47-yard line. Here's Kramer again. Quick throw out to the side. He's got a man out there. It's can't pick up the number at the 10, but he's making men miss at the 5.
Touchdown.
Going into the end zone. There you go, Brandon. Touchdown. Prattville once again in the end zone. From the 17 they go. Ryan throws toward the end zone. Got a man down there.
Intercepted. Come on. We came up with it.
Intercepted in the end zone. Wide open.
There he
up the middle.
goes.
Got some room across the 40.
There he
Overcoming
goes.
His feet to the
There
30.
he goes.
25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Prattville.
With over 35 years of automotive experience, Gibson's Tire Pros has the answers.
Mo thinks we're having trouble with the curb. How should we fix that? Me and Mo are into the same girl. Who do you think she should pick? Do you guys think Mo's nose is too big?
Of all these questions, I feel like we should have been life coaches.
Nah, let's just stick to tires and automotive.
Yeah.
Gibson Tire Pros, we advise you decide.
In our profession, we see a lot of remarkable recoveries. One thing that each success story has in common is the courage needed to take that first step. At Dreyer Physical Therapy Institute, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to get the expert opinion you need, so we've made that first step free. Sign up for a complimentary screen at any Dreyer location today, and we'll assess your condition and recommend the best next steps to get you back on the road to recovery. Call or click today to schedule your complimentary screen. DreyerPT.com/screen.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all, OMG, Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Welcome back to the Prattville Lions Football Review. Coach Ross, it's time for our favorite segment, Inside the Lions Cage, and we're going in this time with Tre Thompson.
Yeah, Tre, man, he's another one of my favorite kids on the team. I mean, he, Mason's got the big personality and is definitely the leader of our defense. If you have another kid, I would say co-leader would be Tre Thompson, and he's just steady, man. He's
steady.
Seems like he's been starting in the Prattville secondary for about 8 years.
Sure
now.
does.
But, he's man, just a steady player, man. He had a great game Friday night. But man, I'm glad to see he's just a good kid. Comes from a great family, and I'm glad to see that the Prattville fans and the people can see what type of kid he is.
He's a leader by example and a man of few words, but you're going to find out here as we go inside the Lions cage with Tre Thompson.
He wants to pass, and this ball is intercepted by Tre Thompson at the 40,
Thompson
35,
may
30.
go.
Thompson at the 20, down the sidelines.
Tre Thompson, senior, and I play corner. I'm gonna have to go Chick-fil-A. Every time I go to Popeyes, it's sold out. I think Toy Story 4.
Okay.
No, I ain't never go no days without taking a shower. I used to like, what's that song called? All About That Bass. I think
Megan Trainor.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
I'm gonna go with Nick Cannon. I'm gonna say Hope. Chicken.
Is there a particular place you like to eat chicken, or is it, or just your home cooking?
Home cook.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna go with I like Miss McDaniels because she breaks everything down for me and everything. She's pretty nice. Michael Jackson, I would say Billie Jean. Jalen Ramsey. I want to be remembered as a playmaker. Hooray for Prattville, hooray for Prattville. Someone in the stands yelling hooray for Prattville. 1, 2, 3, 4, tell me who you yelling for. Prattville, that's who.
Perfect.
With over 35 years of automotive experience, Gibson's Tire Pros has the answers.
Mo thinks we're having trouble with the curb. How should we fix that? Me and Mo are into the same girl. Who do you think she should pick? Do you guys think Mo's nose is too big?
Of all these questions, I feel like we should have been life coaches.
Nah, let's just stick to tires and automotive.
Yeah.
Gibson Tire Pros, we advise, you decide.
In our profession, we see a lot of remarkable recoveries. One thing that each success story has in common is the courage needed to take that first step. At Dreyer Physical Therapy Institute, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to get the expert opinion you need, so we've made that first step free. Sign up for a complimentary screen at any Dreyer location today, and we'll assess your condition and recommend the best next steps to get you back on the road to recovery. Call or click today to schedule your complimentary screen. DreyerPT.com/screen.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all, OMG, Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Welcome back to the Prattville Lions Football Review. Final segment here with Coach Ross. Coach, you're heading into a week off, and wow, the team's riding a huge wave of momentum. How are you going to manage this week?
Well, I told our team, we talked on the field. I was proud of them, but we always talk when we get back to the indoor after a game. And one thing I told them, I said, look, I was extremely proud of the way they played. Unbelievable effort against Stanhope. But here's the deal now. I said, man, you're about to get told how great you are. You're going to get told you're the number one team in the state, and everybody's going to make all these bold predictions and be excited. But guys, and I don't want to sound like a famous coach in the state of Alabama, but we can't drink the poison, man. We can't. I said, because it's just human nature to hear all that great stuff and you relax and you just kind of get complacent and you don't practice as hard. You don't do the things that got you to that point. So I told them, hey, man, we probably played 2 teams that we should have beat, and we don't really know how good those teams are. I do think that our kids are dialed in. I'm proud of them, but, our true test is about to come. So as we go into this off week, obviously we got a day off with Labor Day, so we're not normally. If we were playing on a Friday this week, we would practice on Labor Day. We'd be preparing, but it just kind of fell with the schedule, right? That our off week is the Labor Day week, so we won't do anything on Monday. But the plan is we're going to get after it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it's a really good chance to go back to fundamentals. We probably won't prepare much for our upcoming opponents. Obviously, we got a big one coming in 2 weeks, but we're really going to go back and get back to, hey, block, tackle, ball security. And really compete against one of each other. We do that anyway, at least on Mondays. So you probably can get 3 days of doing good on good, just getting better at what we do. You're always going to look at little things, little details, but any specific game planning, we won't do any of that. We're just really going to focus on us. Hopefully have 3 really good days. We'll give the kids Friday off, and then start Sunday. We'll start our game prep for Central.
It's no secret that in 2 weeks, our next date will be against the defending state champions in their house, the Central Phoenix City Red Devils. I know this week coming off this off week coming up that you're going to try to keep focused on the fundamentals, but everybody knows what's coming. How do you temper the emotions and not let these kids peak too soon?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why, to me, we're not going to go and do a bunch of stuff on upcoming opponents this week. We're really going to focus on us, and I think keep it, because that's it, man. They're going to hear it. They're going to hear how big the game is, and that's what I don't want that, man. We want to be just right with our timing of getting prepared for any ball game, not just Central. So, just really and I'll explain that in our meeting with the kids on Tuesday. They'll see the design of practice. We'll go back to kind of more of an August camp mode. So, I think that's our job as coaches of controlling that. Sometimes it is a task, and it'll be a task, but I think our kids, this group's handled everything we've asked them. So, they know there's a big game, and obviously Central is going to be a big game, but I'm really preaching the method and the message of, hey, every game's a big game. Every Monday practice is a big practice of just having the same consistent mindset. I think, to me, it's just the percentages are better doing it that way. I don't ever want an emotional playing sky high one week, playing down the next week. I want us to be consistent winners, stepping out on the field ready to compete no matter what.
Coach Ross, congratulations on the big win, back-to-back shutouts. You got the program riding a wave of energy and momentum right now. We're looking forward to what's coming up in 2 weeks, and we'll let you get back to work. Appreciate your time.
Well, thank you. Appreciate y'all guys. Y'all do a great job.
Of course we do. This has been Coach Ross. I'm Will Barrett, and you've been watching the Prattville Lions Football Review. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Good night. God bless, and go Lions.
The Prattville Lions Football Review with Coach Caleb Ross. Brought to you by Gibson's Tire Pros, Dreyer Physical Therapy, your hometown Allstate agent Lynn Norris, CBE, and Showtime Graphics.